Hello, and welcome to all of you from our global community, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us for actionable information, insights, and advice to protect long-term profitability with consistent pricing and promotion execution across every channel, plus how you can benefit and advance from today's webinar, One True Price, Penny Perfect Pricing Everywhere for Everyone, hosted by the Promotion Optimization Institute and sponsored by Forza. I'm Michael Cantor, and if we haven't met, I'm founder and CEO of the Promotion Optimization Institute, and I appreciate that you're joining us and hope you got the most out of the summertime based on where you are in the world. We're proud to consistently provide essential information, both live and virtually, to help you and your teams and your companies thrive in the face of unprecedented inflation and as you conquer great personal and professional adversity. This includes identifying and implementing processes and new skills plus technology, and how you best adapt to thrive while better serving shoppers and consumers. Most importantly, we hope all of you are well, healthy, and safe. We are passionate about bringing you this information, lessons learned, and of course, practices to implement and achieve tangible results from engaging with POI and our growing community, including Forza. Couple of webinar basics here. So this is meant to be interactive. We want you involved in the Q&A so you can ask questions at any time. So with that, during the presentation, you simply have to press the text, go to the text area below the slide window and click the submit button. These slides will advance automatically throughout the presentation. Please disable your pop-up blockers now. And if you're experiencing any technical difficulties, refresh your browser or press the F5 key. You'll have an opportunity at the end of this webinar during the Q&A to join us in Dallas for the upcoming live hybrid POI Summit, November 9th through 11th. But until then, we have great opportunities and information here. I'm proud to be joined by our participants and expert presenters, Dominic Dinardo and Candice. And Dominic is the CEO and founder of Forza, a global cloud computing company that helps consumer goods companies sell more and grow faster. Dinardo is a recognized pioneer in the cloud computing marketplace in Europe and around the globe. He's joined Salesforce back in 2002 as the third employee in the UK. He's built a global sales solution consulting organization, closing blue-chip brands that saw an annual revenue growth over $3 billion by 2012. He leads Forza, and part of his team is Candice, who's joining us as the VP of Marketing, Product Marketing, and responsible for Forza's products to market and drive business value for Forza's customers. Candice grew up in the US, but previously spent 9 years living in London, which she considers home. She's a veteran of the software industry, having held executive roles at Freshworks, Salesforce, Velocity, and Oracle, where she started her career in sales. So, you're joining us at the POI. You'll see here, we're bringing you insights, education, research, understanding, and of course, best practices across teams, organizations, trading partners. And we're doing that through our certification and education. We're doing that through our live and hybrid events, our RGM share group, and we're building across planning through execution and the integrated analytics. You'll know here how POI serves and how you are, as we survey you, evolving your pricing practices. So we know now that more members are succeeding by analyzing and executing the optimal price point and index threshold, as well as attributes that drive category growth. We notice that you're advancing, we're working with you routinely, and we're helping you build and broaden your skill sets, processes, and the enabling technologies. We're also finding that you're moving along your journey, not just with planning and pricing, but with retail execution capabilities, maturing and moving from the basics of in-store execution and monitoring all the way through retail activity or optimization and ensuring that you're connected all the way through the value chain. And we do notice that previously, when we surveyed you, your companies are struggling to get alignment, not just with planning and promotions, but also executing them through the store, getting buy-in through the retailers, and achieving your perfect store goals. Some of which we'll be discussing today in our webinar when we look at pricing and how to achieve our goals. And right now, I want to introduce and bring on Dominic to take us through our discussion and bring up some valid points around how you can get to penny perfect pricing everywhere for everyone.
Michael, thank you so much. That's great. And by the way, compliments to you and your organization. Thank you for hosting this today. And Forza has really started to embrace the POI, the Promotion Optimization Institute, a lot in the last, I think, about a year now. And I can tell you a little bit of a spoiler. Michael's organization has just been evaluating us for trade promotion management, and we've enjoyed a very, very thorough exercise. So we're kind of excited about that. And I think we're going to be seeing results from that analysis in a few weeks' time. But we think it's great that you've put this together. We're really excited to be here. And I also want to thank everybody for joining today. I appreciate that you can spend your time anywhere. You've got very busy lives. We've got a lot of responsibilities on us, probably today more than ever, I imagine, right? We've got a lot to talk about. And so thank you. I'll just say thank you in advance before we begin about investing time with us today. We really appreciate it. I think we all do. So thank you for that. Now, as Michael started to explain, today we want to talk about this concept of this one true price, penny perfect pricing everywhere for everyone. And we'll get into what that means and why it's important for all of us, manufacturers, distributors, and everybody on this call today. And we'll talk about that in the context of the market challenges. And then we'll talk about what this concept can be executed and how it can really help everybody. And I'm really excited because I'm joined by Candice today, who's going to do a fantastic demonstration and get you all fired up and excited with that. And then we'll go through all this material and promise you we will make sure we have some good time at the end to handle questions and answers. But just before we get into that, I was going to just say 1 minute advert for Forza about who we are, so at least you know who the company is and where we're coming from. Forza is a company completely dedicated to consumer goods. All we do is help. We're a software company that all we do is help food companies, beverage companies, consumer goods companies take their products to market. From planning, you see it on the slide, from planning, promotions, all the way through to execution, end to end, right? And we do that to solve three primary problems that we see even today in 2022 consumer goods companies face. It's dealing with the missing revenue opportunities they face. It's to do with the fact they continue to lose money, lose ROI on promotions and promotion effectiveness. And it's that thing that's been strangely never solved for eons now, being blind to our sales execution in the field. Those are the three things we solve. A Forza, so it does everything from retail execution through to trade promotion management, and importantly now, increasingly digital asset management, which is a really important part of the whole story. And we do that omni-channel, so it doesn't matter if you're out in the field and disconnected from the internet, or whether you're doing telesales, which is becoming an entry point for more and more companies, interestingly enough. It's a cloud solution, so rapid innovation is key. 3 releases a year. All of Forza customers are on the same release. Nobody's left behind. Everybody is keeping up with the speed and rapid innovation, which is great. Customers in more than 25 countries now, and I'll dive into a proper reference story in this presentation with Estelle, which I'll let you know, actually, even in these days, these dark days where there's so many challenges, Estelle were actually able to double their average basket size. And they did that in a sales transformation project that lasted 6 months. Amazing. And we're talking about the companies like Mountain Source, who went live in 2 weeks, a small company, or innovative companies like Brewdog, a really exciting brand started in the United Kingdom, but now going global, and companies like one of my favorites, Wine Mackay, from my hometown in Glasgow, if you're wondering where the funny accent was from, 175-year-old premium whiskey brand. Like, lots of exciting customers all over the place, do all sorts of things all over the world. How did we do this? We built on the shoulders of cloud computing giants, Salesforce and Google. We did that because we knew that we could build incredible technology that this industry needed and bring it to market. And we made sure that we were also compatible with Apple and Android, because we knew mobility was going to be absolutely key. Anyway, enough about us. Let's talk about what everyone in this call really confronts today, okay? And we've got to set context in presentations like this. We have to align on it to make sure we understand the challenges that we talk about before we get to how we go about dealing with it and trying to solve it. But I'm always a little bit careful when I present these slides, because look, I think when we talk about skyrocketing inflation around the world, it's not like people don't know this. We know professionally in our industry, the manufacturers, the distributors, everybody knows professionally about this, about what is going on here. But we also understand it as consumers, right? We understand it as family members, as people who have to live in this environment ourselves. And we kind of experience this from multiple angles. And probably, Michael, probably the people on this call probably have one of the most unique perspectives in the world, probably more than government or the consumers or anyone else. The people on this call know this challenge more than anyone, because we've all had to operate our companies through an incredibly tumultuous pandemic. We all knew the supply chain disarray that would happen as a consequence of furlough and many other reasons, right? And we've started to watch, unfortunately, an energy crisis happen. But the thing is, if you have everybody suddenly come back from work, if everybody has suddenly got a little bit of money wants to spend, if everyone wants to suddenly buy stuff at the same time as all these problems happened, you get inflation, right? And we're dealing with this now. And, I think everybody, look, we already knew this, but I think we also are preparing ourselves, aren't we? We all know that this is going to get tougher before it gets better. And I think the key thing I want to say is, like, today, people are cost conscious, right? I'm cost conscious. I watch my wife think about what she does in the supermarkets. We're all being cost conscious, right? But it's that confidence issue now. It's a real concern for me, because the consumer confidence is being undermined, which is, we know, can get into kind of a vicious cycle now on behaviors and how people shop. And in fact, one of the things I wanted to say was to set up the story here. Was we had this quote. This is a really interesting quote from a guy called Marshall Cohen. He works at the NPD Group. And he said, I'll just read it out, there is a tug of war between the consumer's desire to buy what they want and the need to make concessions based on the higher prices hitting their wallets. And that tug of war metaphor stuck in my brain. We were discussing this, when we prepared for this presentation, and we thought, well, how are we going to explain this? That tug of war metaphor was really important. But, I think Marshall is hitting on something, but there's a subtlety to this that I think the people on this call understand, that perhaps better than anyone else. Because that tug of war is in three directions. That tug of war is happening between us, the manufacturers and distributors that we know, right? We've got all these challenges we just talked about. We know we're trying to solve that. There's the retailers who are also grappling with their challenges. By the way, life is tough for them too, and they're trying to think about how to do this. And of course, that cost-conscious consumer who is, having a confidence crisis, where not only are they dealing with all these things, but they're probably spending less money now per buyer, and also their spend frequency is decreasing. And there's like this three-way tug of war going on. And that tug of war has spilled into, frankly, into open conflict a couple of times. We've seen in the United Kingdom a couple of instances of major food manufacturers actually withdrawing products for sale in a nationwide supermarket chain. And that conflict has spilled out into the press, such that there's been empty shelves. And this doesn't help anyone. It certainly doesn't help the consumer who's trying to buy, their can of beans or the cornflakes, whatever it might be. So, this conflict is a real tension. And we've called this the value chain standoff. And so there's kind of a fight going on. And what is the tension point? So that tension point is really right bang in the middle, isn't it? And it's about this key point, which comes to the name of the webinar today. It's about having the ability to have a perfectly priced, placed, and promoted product that you can do and place it in a way where it can be executed perfectly on every channel, right? This is what we think you need to alleviate this challenge. and to build up the better relationships with the retailers. So easy to say, perhaps harder to do. How do we do this? How do you execute perfectly everywhere? And really, we've boiled it down to 3 core ingredients that we think are going to be really important here. And we'll show you this in a moment. We'll demonstrate it. You need to have one true price everywhere. You've got to make sure that you've got penny perfect pricing, following whatever taxes, regulations, commercial policies, and promotions you want everywhere. And you need to be able to do it, whether it's on e-commerce, whether it's captured in the field, like the good old field order capture, or whether you're doing it over EDI, or however it's happening. You need to make sure that whatever you're executing, it actually goes on beyond pricing, right? It could be your whole execution of everything from merchandising through to your sales processes. You need to make sure that happens the same way consistently everywhere, and it needs to be highly relevant, because we now are dealing where we need to make sure that we can handle everything that is needed with regard to the account profiling that we're facing, the segmentation. For example, are we doing things differently now with stores of a certain square footage versus others, based on locations in cities or outside the cities? You need that level of tailoring and precision to get this right, because it has never been more important than today to consider how you place those products, how you price them and promote them. And that leads to the third thing, which is actually you kind of need to be able to do this in real time. You need all this precision, but you need to be able to do it in a way that actually you can handle the events that life is throwing at us. Because the one thing that's happened in the last few months is things have not stood still, right? We can see increasing levels of chaos and challenges and change, everything from regulations through to energy crises, like have been thrown at us. You need to have real-time performance insights and the ability to unify your planning to execution. It's so key. That acting intelligently as well, powered by AI, is kind of a key important point in the slide. 3 reasons there what you need to do. True pricing everywhere, one true price. Make sure it's highly relevant promotions, and be able to do things in real time. Now, how do we do this? How do we achieve this? And this is kind of like the key thing, one true price everywhere. We've got this here, like the cogs, this wheel. And Forza has been built in a way with our single platform, this end-to-end platform I described earlier, with a single set of engines. And those engines execute for our ability to do everything from orders, pricing, promotions, whether it be disconnected on your mobile device or whether it be through e-commerce. And you can see here on the outside of the room all these different channels. And Forza has had customers start in different places. We had in the early days customers focused really heavily on field sales. Now we're hearing more and more about telesales execution. And it doesn't really matter where you start on this journey around this wheel, because once you have the engine set up and executing, you can switch on each of these channels, like at your discretion. You have the control, all operating in real time. It's really powerful technology. Now, before we get to showing you this and making you think like, what's this guy talking about? Like, this sounds kind of like space age stuff. It really isn't. We're going to show you a demonstration in a moment. I want to talk to you about a customer. All right. Now, bear in mind, this story I'm going to tell you about our customer, Distell's customer I love this guy, Craig Price. He's so on it with this kind of thing. This customer, the story I'm telling you about, is executed over the last, 6 to 8 months. I think goes back to, February or something. These guys deployed a Forza to their other users across Africa and Asia, hundreds and hundreds of people. And they achieved something they had never done before, and it was end-to-end execution, their ability to be able to create, plan, and drive promotions all the way from HQ, all the way through to end execution, from like capturing orders and audits and executing in the field. And as a result of this, and many other things like they could now do that they couldn't previously achieve, they've doubled their average order size, right? Doubled it during a period of high inflation and all the other challenges. I think we've done all the negative stuff already, right? Let's not do it again. But they've doubled their average order size. And it's because their sales team have got a live view of inventory on hand. They've got a live view of like the customer's credit scores. They've got product recommendations. They're able to cross-sell. They're able to upsell. And they did this all, a sales transformation of this ilk in 6 months. By the way, they're not standing still. They've got more and more plans to do more. So it's a great customer. In fact, we'll be doing a webinar with Craig ourselves in the future. I highly recommend. If what I'm telling you has intrigued you, please Google Craig Price, Google Craig Price, Distella Forza, and look at the case studies, or you can find them on our own website, actually. Incredible story. Double basket size in 6 months. Really, really phenomenal. And with that, I don't want to take up any more time with that, but I want to hand to Candice, who actually wants to show you what I'm talking about to make it all real. You there, Candice?
Absolutely, Dom. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here with everyone today to share with you how a Forza and penny perfect pricing actually delivers value to all stakeholders in the value chain with our One True Price demo. Before we actually go into the demo, let me tell you what we're going to share with you today. Caroline is a promotions, she's designing promotions as a commercial operations manager, and she wants to design one that's flawlessly executed everywhere with One True Price. So what we're going to see is that she starts by working with our trade promotion capabilities to design this promotion with consistent discounts for all customers. Now she's designing a promotion for the upcoming World Cup that focuses on soda discounts. And then we're going to see how sales and telesales can actually take this promotion and capture orders effortlessly that are perfectly priced. And also distributors are going to have the same capabilities as well as retail partners to capture perfectly priced orders that are online, so they can just do it themselves. And then finally, we'll wrap up to see how Caroline can monitor all of the trade performance, revenue attainment, the overall performance in real time, so she can make immediate adjustments in order to hit her revenue targets. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. So when we look at the first thing that I'd like to do is actually share with you a little bit more about Caroline. She's a commercial operations manager, and she's developing this promotion for the World Cup, but she wants to ensure that it's executed flawlessly everywhere and that it's priced to perfection. Coffee in hand, Caroline starts her day by designing the World Cup promotion in a Forza. Her homepage immediately provides a high-level view of her promotional performance insights. And also, if we look up at the very top window here on the right-hand side, she sees important tasks that she needs to remember. And she has quick links to her most used pages. But Caroline wants to go directly into promotion planning so she can start configuring her promotion. She sees what's currently being planned across the entire year, but she's just really interested in the next few months for the World Cup event. Caroline clicks into the World Cup promotion, and from here, she can actually see a preview and then go in to directly edit the promotion. Here, Caroline sees the promotion is currently active, including the effective dates right at the top. She reviews the details of the promotion and has allocated fixed costs and advertising to track ROI against the trade spend. Upon further review, she confirms the flavored sodas are included in the promotion with an offer for free sparkling water. The World Cup promotion currently has been allocated to a specific account for the Fresh Start grocery group. But since it's running so successfully, Caroline wants to update the promotion and apply it for an entire segment of customers within close proximity to a sports venue. When she clicks on the rules, Caroline can also further refine this promotion for accounts that have strong competitive presence, so it's hyper-focused on a takeout campaign. She's even assigned promotional collateral with a simple click into digital asset management. By having this promotion collateral within the actual promotion itself, Caroline is more confident that sellers are using the right marketing collateral during visits to showcase the new offer. And when we look at the promotion itself, Caroline has set this up as a buy 5, get 1 free offer, so we see the discount as 100%. Caroline is pleased with how simple it was to set up the promotion and feels confident it will create new opportunities to engage around the World Cup. Now let's look at how the field can effortlessly promote this new offer in their accounts across every channel. Mario works in telesales and covers Tier 3 accounts, so he's responsible for small convenience stores across the Fresh Start group. He uses a Forza to help him prioritize his calls for the day while seeing all of his customer data unified in a single view. And it helps him to place his orders. Today, Mario is contacting one of the Fresh Start stores to check in on their stock and see if they'd like to place an order. Before he even picks up the phone, he can review all of the important information, including current promotions that are being run, a gallery of store layouts, so he has these important insights, And then he can even click into insights around their purchasing behavior, such as their top performing products, before he even picks up the phone. When Fresh Start is ready to place an order, he can proceed directly from the 360-degree view. And on the left side, he's then taken to our ordering engine, and he can see all of the products that are available to his customers. He sees several soda options, including fruit, flavored, and berry lime options. He also sees options for ordering sparkling water. When Mario adds a sparkling water, he sees the normal price, the actual price before the promotion. And then he adds the lime soda and sees the discounted price based upon their contractually agreed pricing. But Mario also sees an alert that a promotion is available. So he knows to go to review the promotions and sees the World Cup promotion that's available. He clicks into the offer and realizes that in order to qualify, his customer needs to add another soda. So he adds another soda, and then it's activated so he can add the promotion to the account. Mario can then add the promotion to his customer's account and proceed with placing the perfectly priced order. So he will then complete that. Now let's see how the exact same experience is available to Karina, who's a field sales representative. She's on the road and she has limited connectivity, so she uses a Forza's mobile app to conduct all visit activities, including placing perfectly priced orders even when offline. When Karina starts her day, she logs into a Forza's mobile app to see visits she needs to conduct. Karina can check into her visit and review all of the tasks that need to be completed. And what's really great about this is that if she decides to take orders directly, she can click on that right from the task screen. So she clicks into this activity and starts an order. Here, Karina can search across the product catalog and check out any promotions. She clicks into the soft drink category so she can see what products are available to Fresh Start. She adds the hint of lime and hint of lemon items into the cart. These products within the cart actually have Fresh Start's discounted price that's been automatically calculated. And within the cart, Karina can see there's a promotion on offer. So she reviews the promotions to check out the World Cup offer. The mobile app even guides Karina to which items that need to be included for the offer to be applied, which is highlighted on this screen in green. Upon review, she understands that to qualify for the promotion, Fresh Start must order another flavored soda. So she adds another hint of strawberry item to the order. And all of these items have been perfectly priced. And from this screen, she can capture a signature and easily submit the order. In our final scenario, we'll see how Michelle, who's a retail customer, can place orders online that offer the same penny perfect price. Michelle owns an independent shop. Her store is very price sensitive, with success being focused on beating competitors by understanding customer needs best. She wants to place orders when she needs them and feel confident that she's getting the right price. So when she logs into her portal, she sees the World Cup promotion immediately. She also sees all of the insights according to her account. She can go into her product details, but the World Cup offer really caught her attention. So she goes into the promotions view, seeing all of the current running promotions, and decides to accept the World Cup promotion. When she clicks into this, she can actually select the products that she wants to add that align to the promotion directly online, and the cart is perfectly priced. From here, she can also quickly check out from this page and really confirm all of her payment details and her billing address. And as we see, the tax has been added and it's all been calculated with one true price that's based on the promotional offer. As the World Cup promotion continues to run, Caroline wants to ensure it's optimized across all of the different account segments, and she wants to capture real-time revenue to understand the overall ROI for trade spend. By working on a single one true price platform, Caroline sees her promotion planning is getting executed across every channel. By using the planning overview dashboard, Caroline can monitor overall campaign effectiveness and ROI as she's tracking trade spend and fixed cost within the promotion. She sees the current revenue attainment and future revenue predictions. In addition, she can see all of the actual revenue that's been achieved to date. Revenue associated to costs are also visible here, which outlines a large revenue achievement in the recent weeks. And to Caroline, it's very important to see trade performance across her different target segments to see where she may need to invest more. And finally, she's able to even monitor revenue over time. The dashboards are completely configurable, so Caroline can assess performance in multiple ways. Now, let's look at the benefits that One True Price delivers for all stakeholders. What we saw in the presentation is that for retail partners, they have transparent pricing. So when Michelle logged in, she saw the same pricing that was available to the sellers. And also, she gained relevant offers and promotions directly from her self-service portal. This helps her to really select what's most relevant to her store in order to grow in-store revenue. For manufacturers and distributors, we saw how Caroline can protect the margins from her promotion by ensuring that it's executed flawlessly across sales channels. We also saw how the sellers were able to reduce their costs by easily being able to work within the app and execute to perfection every time. This ultimately improves overall ROI for trade promotions. And for consumers, they have the confidence then that they are actually getting the most relevant promotions that meet their needs with the absolute best price. And ultimately, this drives brand loyalty and brand and retail loyalty. Dominic, now I'd love to transition back over to you for us to close out the webinar.
Candice, thank you, and great job. Thanks so much for doing that. And actually, I just have to say, I know it's our stuff, and I should really know what it all does, and I do, but I look at it and I'm thinking, wow, that's quite a lot. It kind of always catches me up like, and we do all that? It's really impressive. I think what I want to say here, though, is what Candice covered, and actually I'm timing it, it must be about 10 minutes or so of demonstration there, was like execution of promotions and order capture across multiple channels. I think I saw mobile field capture, I saw e-commerce execution, I saw a telesales order capture, I saw promotions, visibility in a calendar. So loads of analytics, probably more I could keep up with. And the same pricing was coming out of every single channel by design. And you could choose to not do that, of course, but by design, the customer was getting the same price however they got to it, right? And it was all happening in real time. And all those analytics are happening in real time. It's kind of phenomenal. And I think that in today's world, with all the problems that we're talking about, there's some key things there that actually add a lot of value and protect the profitability with this dynamic ability. So you saw a unified account profile across all the channels. It didn't really matter where they came in from. We understood them in actually a great level of detail with actually a degree of segmentation, which is really a phenomenal, right? As deep as you want to take it. You can launch trade promotions and highly relevant ones. I think we did the World Cup in that example, right? Based on what you need to do in real time. And the penny perfect pricing could happen from anywhere. Really, really powerful stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, when I did the wheel and I talked about all these different channels, we're not trying to suggest that, hey, you should rip out everything you have and just replace it with a Forza. If you did do that, we'd love that, of course. But perhaps more sensibly, you're struggling with a single channel. But the thing is, once you get a Forza working on that channel, if you want to expand it to others, it becomes very, very quick. Because all that heavy lifting, that thinking you've already done about how the promotion architecture, the commercial policies, once it's all there, it's literally switch on the channel. Very, very, very powerful concept. So I think that's great, Candice. Thank you again. Now, one of the things that we actually have only done in the last, I think maybe the last few weeks, but we're going to do this every year now. This is something you guys, if you're interested in all this and you saw those metrics, we've come to realize that we have, together with the Forza community, we've learned so much from our own professionals, but from our customers and our partners, that there's so many different KPIs you can have here for all of these different facets of the go-to-market model. We've actually bundled them up into a massive document and documented them and defined them. And we figured that people would find this useful. And so if you, I think there's going to be a way you can get this after the webinar, by the way, or you can grab your phone and shoot this QR code And we've done it, actually, we've done it, this document's available in English, but actually we've had tremendous interest also from Latin America. And so it's also now available in Spanish. We'll do other languages in time, but highly recommend it. If all those things and all those facets, what you suddenly saw snapshots of what Candice was showing you is interesting to you, and you want to benchmark your own company against what KPIs you do or don't have, highly recommend that you download this KPI index. And it's and you know what? If nothing else, what we found is it's turned out to be a great asset to have discussions around. You know, when you can take it and talk to your different category managers, sales managers, etc., and just say, like, do you see these KPIs? How are we against these? So highly, highly recommend that. Candice, thank you. Michael, thank you. Audience, thank you. I think we've got time for some Q&A, and we might want to bridge to that now. Michael, back to you. Are you going to chair this section?
We do, and thank you, Dom, and thank you, Karen. Outstanding. Great opportunity and interesting. So what we find is examples of success, and I want to thank our delegates, audience members, for those who've submitted questions already. If you have not, please submit your questions now. We'll get to as many as time permits, and then follow up with you. As we begin with today's Q&A, please fill out the feedback form that is on your console. To complete the form, simply press the Submit Answer button at the bottom of the page. And now, on to our question and answer portion of the event. As a reminder, to participate in the Q&A, just type your question into the Ask a Question text area below, then click the Submit button. So, here's our first question, which actually goes right back to what you were mentioning about the Distel example. This says, Distel is a really interesting concept and what they've done and the business impact on their sales orders. How long did it take Distel to implement the Forza?
Yeah, great question. Actually, I think to give it a bit of context in the answer, Michael, Distel is an international company. They've got parts of that company span everywhere from United Kingdom to South Africa, where it was headquartered, through to Taiwan and beyond. And actually, it's just been acquired by Heineken, interestingly enough. So it's a big multi-billion-dollar company. And this was a serious sales transformation project for them. So they put a lot of thought into this. But from the actual project start to go live, it's actually 6 months for quite a large, sophisticated organization. And just to repeat some of the things that are really exciting about that was, you know, for them, there were many firsts. It was the first time that their sales teams actually had a real-time view of inventory that was on hand. It was the first time they could actually get a sense of the credit score of their customers. So that, you know, simple example is the sales reps would turn up at bars or retailers, and, you know, the customer would want, you know, maybe, I don't know, 10 cases of cider or something, or beer. And, you know, if the rep didn't have what he wanted on stock, he can now suggest something else, or the system is suggesting cross-sell and upsell opportunities. And doing this, like this, which actually is the first basic step in such a project, they've been able to double their average order capture size, which is really phenomenal. I should say, though, and I think it's probably a topic for another day, is, you know, they're now starting to think about what stage 2 is and, like, what other things they do. So so from start to, you know, that value point, 6 months. But, you know, I'd keep an eye on them, look at the case studies. We're certainly going to be writing these up, because Distel is not standing still. They've got lots of plans for the future as well to continue the journey, which is really, really exciting. Thanks to whoever asked. Yeah.
Outstanding. Next question, and I love this question. I'm taking a look here, and others are coming in. Thank you. We often talk about trade promotion, retail execution, omni-channel, any of these capabilities we take on. We talk about them as a journey. So I love how this is phrased. What would you recommend as a first step for a consumer goods company to take on their journey to one true price, as you described, with a fairly mature system landscape?
Yeah, I think one of the things that, Michael, that's a really good question and a really perceptive one. So thanks to whoever asked it. I think I would say, like if we look at most consumer goods companies today, they will have some sort of solutions for this stuff, right? You'll probably find they've got an ERP system. They might have custom built some pricing bits. They've had to try to add on e-commerce, etc. So the true honest answer is, of course, is, I hate to say it, is it depends, right? Because it's going to depend on the particular circumstances that you're in. But what I would say is, you can probably quite, in a funny sort of way, look at your landscape today, look at where your business pain is, or look at your objective and what you want to get to. Take assets like the KPI index I just shared, and have a thought like, so if you, for example, think, do you know what, we need to find ways to be more efficient in our sales organization. Maybe we want to focus on doing more telesales because we can't do the same field coverage we did before. What are the KPIs that people have for telesales? Let's get that document from a Forza. Let's have a look at those KPIs, have an internal conversation, perhaps reach out to people like ourselves or partners. Like I want to call out to a recent partner who's done a great job of this is Bearing Point, who do they make a lot of investments in helping people with digital transformation workshops, and maybe start there. Because the key thing is, Michael, is once you solve for one of those channels, if you take a technology, an important technology like a Forza, solving for one gives you a route to solve for others as time goes on. Because once you've done it once, our ability to switch on to other channels becomes actually pretty simple, technically speaking. It becomes more of a business change conversation, which is a really whole other topic. So to try to boil down the answer, I do that it depends, but look for your business objective or your current pain today, take the KPI index, have a discussion, reach out to us or yourselves, for instance, and be in contact with other, perhaps external experts, and let's get on a call or in a room and brainstorm on how to do it. But once you solve for one with a Forza, you can figure out how to turn on the tap wider and wider for the rest of it, or the faucet, as we might say in the United States.
Fantastic and interesting. I love our delegates and attendees when they ask questions like this, which builds on the answer you gave, but perhaps another opportunity. This one, you were talking about delivering one true price everywhere. What's the difference between your omni-channel engines or approach and API-based approach?
Okay, yeah, that's such a really good question. And actually, it kind of leads on from what you were just saying, because there's probably, out there today, you probably find IT teams have been grappling with these challenges. And, great respect to all of our, colleagues in IT working in these companies. They've got a tough job, and they're trying to figure out how to do this. They probably have APIs, Let's just imagine, how would this have happened perhaps in many companies today? They probably have SAP or JD Edwards or something running, or maybe they're a smaller company and they have something like Sage, and they have their ERP system and they've kind of got a product catalog, and then someone wrote some code to try to do some pricing engine on it, but then somebody else tried to buy another system for e-commerce and bolt it on, and somebody tried to get some sort of API linkage. But none of that worked with the field sales team that was trying to work offline and separate from the internet. And what you end up with is that there's an expression, Michael, maybe you've heard it, technical debt. Technical debt is when a company starts building a stack of its own custom code to try to get this stuff to work. And there's nothing wrong with people having done this when they couldn't do anything else. But after a while, you've got this spaghetti junction of stuff that only you have and nobody else in the world has. And you're trying to make it all work. And meanwhile, the world is changing, and you need to be agile, you need to evolve, and you need to be doing other things. And so with the engines, which will run everywhere on every channel, you don't have this problem. You're freed from this issue. And it doesn't matter if you're disconnected from the internet. It doesn't matter if you're selling to a bar in the basement in Manhattan, or if you're in the jungle up the Amazon, or if you're trying to stock fridges at the back of a major supermarket, if you've got the freezers and refrigerators and you've got no internet. The engine paradigm will work everywhere. It's amazing to me. One of the things that it was a shock actually just this week was just how many consumer goods companies have got custom solutions for telesales that are built on old software that suddenly, today, because of today's needs, are suddenly creaking at the seams and don't work. And actually going back to joining up the last question, Michael, that's a great entry point for actually solving these problems and actually giving you a route from telesales to e-commerce. and even modernizing your whole field sales team. Like this, it's amazing to me, actually. So it's actually sounds like a bit of a techie niche question, but the more you pull on this thread, you realize just how important it is. Great question. Thank you for asking that, by the way. I probably could wax lyrical on that question for the next 15 minutes, but I better take another one.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay, this one's a bit lengthy. I'll try to boil it down. Well done here. How can pricing teams support business decisions when potential volume shifts are based on estimations that consumer spends may restrict, whilst current performance shows volume uplifts?
That is all. Well, thank you, whoever asked that one. It's probably totally sympathize or empathize, what's the right word, with whoever is raising the question. I know exactly the challenge you're facing, and thank you for asking it. I think that the answer to that question is a journey, because you're not going to flip a switch to solve that overnight, right? There is, for most companies today, there is a disconnect between the planning and the execution. Most companies today are probably buying data from, I don't know, where you get the data from, point of sales data, I better not say their names, from third-party suppliers, and you try to take that data and figure out if it's clean, and then you try to map it back to what you thought you'd do in promotions, and that's just the way it works. And do you know what happens in this industry? Do you know what happens? Everyone accepts it, right? We just live with it. Yeah, I know my promotions are probably, maybe 30% effective, but it's what we do. And just take the plan from last year and do it again with a couple of tweaks, right? We got to challenge that culture. I'm not saying that's wrong or just throw that away. That'd be silly. Don't do that. But we've got to challenge that culture a bit now. We have to be a lot more real-time. Because, when I said at the start of the slide about the world we're living in with the inflation and the energy crisis and the doom and the gloom and that's reality. That's the reality. The reality is your promotion plan doesn't make sense anymore. And we all know it. We all know it. That's why in the UK, and I'm sure there's examples all around the world, where we saw manufacturers' products being taken off the shelves in a major supermarket. Just Google that in the news and the BBC or somebody will find it. I don't want to say the company names. But that's headline news. Those promotion plans were working? No. It's a journey. We're all on it together. And the answers are, it's in more accurate data. It's in real-time feedback. It's in connecting planning and execution. And you know what? Not everyone is going to come out the back of this. Is it a recession yet? I don't know. Whatever it is. Not everyone's going to come out at the end of this event as a successful company. Unfortunately, we know, everybody on this call knows, some companies aren't going to make it. It's not good.
Mm-hmm. But and Dominic, it's a great point. And of course, we have that misnomer come up many times in our share groups, in our POI Connect groups, in our events, whereby we're not really focused on a number that says how many promotions are profitable, but how many promotions and plans achieve their desired goal, whether that's volume, market share, profitability, any combination. So we don't have anyone held to profitability as one specific measure. And then when we're in the practice of revenue growth management, we find there are many strategies that are laid out, and also we don't want our members and they don't want to be in a position of reacting versus that of responding based on data, intelligence, market conditions. So, we want to throw that misnomer right out because, we work so hard.
I tell you something your organization's always said that I've always totally agreed with is you've always stressed the importance of that connection, the connectiveness of it all. And, I think we're probably back with the next question because we're probably going to bang the table and get agree with each other violently on this. But that's the key thing. And to the person who asked the question, by the way, do you know what? Maybe reach out afterwards. I'd love to continue the dialogue, learn more about the specifics, and actually, get engaged. I think the more the industry can do to help you, the better. And I would love to talk more. So please, if you're interested in continuing that, please reach out to Michael, to me, to continue that dialogue. Good question, eh? Yeah.
Sure. So somebody pulled up the KPI index already. This says, for the KPI index, are all of the reports and dashboards shown in the report included as part of a Forza?
Yes, we thought about that. We're doing that, and listen. Thank you, whoever did that. That's really fast off the mark. Somebody is got their energy and had their coffee this morning. Like, that's great. Yeah, please. And you know what? Feedback, welcome. We actually have more to come. Believe it or not, there's actually more than this. And our plan, Michael, is to actually do this now every year. This is going to be like an annual report. And it's only going to expand. And we'll just keep making sure that the best, what we consider to be the best feedback we get from our customers, from our partners, from everybody, from you guys, puts the most important things to the front. But this report is going to happen annually now. It's turning out to be a really major thing for us. Do you know what I like about it? It just spawns so many discussions. You know, it's a list of KPIs, but in the end, it's all the discussions that happen about what does it really mean, and like how can we do this, and what does it mean for us? It's a really valuable asset. Yeah.
Sure. So I don't know if this is for you, Dom or Carolyn. This says, in the demonstration you showed many channels on one platform. How is this, it says priced, but I don't know if you want to get into pricing here. And what do I need to enable the experience you showed?
Candice, do you want to start? Maybe I'll handle the tricky pricing one at the end. Do you want to start with what you showed?
Sure. Thank you for that question as well. I think this is what kind of lights me up about how we're able to do this at scale, right? And price across the different channels. And what really sits at the core of that is when Dom showed that pricing engine and the ordering engine, and all of those engines are centralized with a single product catalog that we can then apply discounts and bundles and promotions to. So because we have that unification, we can then capture orders across any of these channels that are actually perfectly priced. And so, Dom, I'll transition over to you if there's anything else you'd love to add to that.
Yeah, well, listen, thanks for asking the dreaded commercial question. Look, we're very reasonable people, and we price very sensibly for the market we're in. And basically, the simple answer is this: we price based on annual user subscriptions. So, you know, if a customer has 10 users, then we price for 10 users per annum. And yeah, please, if you have a particular project or something in mind where you're curious to know what would it cost, just ask, send an email, and I'm sure my sales team would be delighted to engage with you. But no, we're sensible people, and we believe in setting up the framework for a long-term partnership, because I think it's just kind of like in the same way Michael was talking about the facets of POI there, and just about how like the community of the delegates and the sharing of information. In the similar way, we have a relationship with our customer base where we love their feedback. We look at it as a long-term partnership. We're evolving all the time. And really our job is to just keep innovating and keep adding value to who we don't really think of them as customers. We kind of think of them as partners in our community. And that's how it works, really, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah, thank you. This one just came in. Back to the demo, maybe, Carolyn. How do you ensure that you deliver the same pricing when you're in the field and offline, which we know is a rarity?
Absolutely. One of the things that we maybe breezed through a little bit during the demonstration is that there is a mobile app that can capture orders that is using the same pricing and product catalog engines, that when we're out in the field and we're capturing those orders, we can do that completely offline. And then what happens is when we come and we have connectivity again, we can synchronize that information and data, and those orders are automatically submitted. And so it's not this is my offline experience and this is my online experience. Both of those experiences are exactly the same because we have that disconnected mobile app.
Fantastic. And let's see, we have time for one more here. That one is okay. I did that one. Good. And then how do you bring in, when you're talking about perfect pricing, this just simply reads, what to consider of competitors' prices on this perfect pricing. So how do you bring in competitors into the pricing equation?
Yeah, thank you to whoever asked that. We didn't do it in the demonstration today, but one of the things we can absolutely do is actually we have a full-blown audit. We call it an audit capability, where we can have people out in the field capture pricing, what they're seeing in terms of competitive promotions, etc. And actually, we've got customers doing this now. So maybe if the questioner is interested in that, well, we capture all this information in terms of our own promotion compliance, in terms of what competitors are doing, and it all feeds back. It actually comes into these KPIs that we were talking about. And you can see in the dashboards, and I think the important thing is, it's not that we can just capture it. We enable you to take the remedial actions that you want to do to deal with it. So if, for example, you start getting feedback from, I don't know, some of your reps are seeing like a competitor has suddenly done, I don't know, a promotion for ice cream all along the beach, you're getting this information coming from multiple sources. If you wanted to, you can immediately launch a competitive promotion back and launch it through, if you wanted to say, I want to do buy one, get one free on ice cream all along 1 kilometer of the beach for the month of August, and I'm going to do it, specifically there, and that's it. You can do that, launch it, and execute it in a response, like right away. I realize that for many companies, this is something that's quite new, this ability to have this feedback loop, not just of information coming from the field, but the ability for HQ to respond and push a response back, like now. Good question. Love to know more about the specifics of the problem you're facing. Please reach out again, and we'd love to get into that and talk more, and maybe talk about exact examples we've seen out in the field. Good question. Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then this came in. You mentioned BrewDog. I saw them at POI back in Chicago in April. What results are they? What kind of results are they achieving?
Thanks, Michael, for asking this question, and whoever asked the question about BrewDog, because I have a little bit of before I answer the question, just the last couple of minutes. I'm actually doing this webinar from our new London office. We've got this new office. I won't move the camera and screw everything up here, but we've got this new office right on top of London Waterloo train station in the heart of London. All my employees are pumped about it because it's so exciting with so much going on, and the life around our new office is great. But we didn't plan this, but what was amazing is our customer BrewDog has just launched the biggest bar in the United Kingdom. It's just a couple of 100 yards from our office. And Michael, it's huge. It is gargantuan. We went there for our office launch party last week. And I mean, this thing can have 1,700 people. It's got an ice cream wagon in there. There's a slide you can go down. It's got a cocktail phone line. It's so cool. It's so cool. So one of my problems is keeping my employees out of it, right? Too much fun time. But we're going to be doing an event with BrewDog actually at the end of September. If you're in London and you want to come out and see this bar, which is so cool, come to our event on the 29th of September. You can sign up online, I think, and we'll have a couple of beers. But anyway, to answer the question, results.
Yeah.
BrewDog actually saw on their on-trade that their install rate in the space of, I think it was 2 or 3 months, incredibly fast, 250% improvement on installs. 250% under 3 months.
Outstanding, outstanding. And with that wraps up our Q&A. There are a few more questions remaining. However, we will get back to you. But I want to thank you, everyone who participated today, and our attendees and delegates on One True Price, Penny Perfect Pricing Everywhere for Everyone, hosted by the Promotion Optimization Institute and sponsored by Forza. Shortly after the live event, we'll send you an email reminder to access this recording on demand and share it with your teams. We want to thank you for your time, ask you to stay healthy and well, and we anticipate seeing you live at POI share groups, upcoming webinars, and of course, reach me for a pass for the November 9th through 11th Live and Hybrid Summit in Dallas, Texas. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Forza, Dom, and Carolyn for everything you've shared with us today. And of course, look forward to meeting and seeing Forza everywhere we go. And look for them in the upcoming POI Enterprise Planning Panorama, and that comes out within the next 2 weeks. So reach that, and of course, you'll be able to access the companion document, the POI Retail Execution Panorama, where Forza is as well. So have a fantastic day, and thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.